Geometry, the basics, grade G. We're going to look in this short show at naming points, lines and angles, the different types of angles, and how we estimate angle size. So let's look at the first point. Point is normally indicated by a cross, and we name the points by using letters of the alphabet, normally uppercase. So that is the point A. This point here to the right, I'm going to call point B, and this point way over here to the right, I'm going to call point C. So we refer to points by letters of the alphabet. A line joins points. That straight line segment joins the points A to B. And we can refer to that line segment as line AB. What about if it joined the points? Oops, Daisy, what happened there? What about this line here that joins the points BC? Well, I refer to that line segment as BC. Finally, angles. An angle is formed when two lines meet. The angle is here, where they meet. It's the amount of turn one needs to go through to sit exactly on top of another. How do I refer to this angle? I refer to it as the angle ABC. It's the angle between the points A and B and C. Another way you might see it written is as follows. You might see ABC with a little arrowhead above, or caret I think it's called, above the middle letter where the two lines join. Or another alternative is you see this shape here in front of ABC. It's saying the angle ABC. Probably the most informative is this one here. Right. What type of angles are there? I'm going to draw some angles now. I'm going to show you the different way we categorize angles. And in doing so, I'm also going to use our terminology. Right, and look at the first four. Just number them so you know which order I'm talking. Look at them. Angle ABC is less than 90 degrees. The turn is less than a quarter turn. So that's known as an acute angle. Angle PQR is exactly 90 degrees. And that's called a right angle. Angle XYZ is more than 90, but less than 180. And it's called an obtuse angle. Very rarely do you see an angle like this, MNO. That's exactly 180 degrees. And it's called a straight line. One more angle we're going to look at, a type of angle. Let's look at this angle here, formed by points P, Q, R being joined. So we've got line PQ meeting with line QR. In truth, we have two angles. We've got this one here, and then this one here. This one here, the larger, is more than 180 degrees, and it's called reflex. So this is the angle PQR. When it comes to notation, PQR, we generally refer to the acute angle. We might, if we wanted to draw attention to the reflex one, write the reflex. I'll make it clear. PQR. Okay, now the final point, how to estimate angles. Estimates where we give a value for the size, but without working it out exactly. Here, I'll give you an example. We're going to estimate the size of this angle here. It's the angle formed by the points A, B, and C. How do we estimate it? Well, we estimate it by referring to and thinking about 90 degrees, that's right angles, and then 45-degree angles, that's half a right angle. So mentally, what do we do? Right, mentally, you've got to picture that that is a right angle. So our angle, ABC, clearly is greater than 90 degrees. That's the symbol we use for greater than 90 degrees. It's greater than a quarter turn. But also, let's think about what is a full turn. A full turn would be this angle here. So, ABC is less than 180 degrees. Now, the important bit. How much less or than 180 is it? Or how much more than 90 is it? Well, let's think. What would a half a right angle look like? Well, half a right angle is just going to be a bit further to the left than this. Half a right angle would look like, I'm guessing, I'm no expert at this, it's an estimation, about that. In fact, I've got some help here. If I go through the corners of the squares, I know, using my squared paper, you can use any tricks you can, that's 45 degrees. So what is this angle here? Well, if this is 45, then I reckon that's about 40. Therefore, the whole angle must be 90 degrees plus 40, 130 degrees as an estimate. Let's try that again. Question 2. Let's look at an acute angle. I probably should have started with that. We're going to estimate the size of the angle PQR. Right, so we think, well, it's less than 90 degrees. So that's 90 degrees. And this is 45 degrees. So what is that red angle there? Well, let's think. Maybe if I've got my... Let's get rid of it. Maybe this is going to fuse it. If we think of this as 45 degrees, then how much turn is that? I reckon it's halfway between 45 and 90, so I reckon it's about 62, 63. Let's go for 63 degrees. Okay, it's more than 45, which is the green bit there, and it's less than 90, which is a quarter turn. It's about halfway between 45 and 90, 63 degrees. We'll try one more estimation. Let's look at the angle X, Y, Z. We're going to try and estimate this angle here. There's 90 degrees. There's 45. How much smaller than 45 is my angle? I reckon it's only about 5 degrees. It's an estimation, remember. So I'm going to say it's about 39 or 40 degrees. Okay, so let's recap. We've looked at the naming points, lines and angles, the different types of angles, and finally the harder skill, one we can only really improve through practice, estimating angle size. To recap, we label the points with capital letters. The line segments that join points we call are referred to by the two letters they join. So this one joining A to B is referred to as line AB. This from B to C, line BC. Angles we refer to with reference to the 3 points that make up the 2 lines that join together to form the angle. Different types of angles. Less than 90 degrees are acute. Exactly 90 degrees are right. Greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 are called obtuse. The rare case of exactly 180 is called straight line, and greater than 180 is referred to as reflex angles. To estimate the size of an angle, mentally picture or overimpose a right angle on the angle you're trying to measure. Then try and mentally picture half a right angle, 45 degrees, and then use that to gauge how much more or less than 45 degrees your angle is. Okay, thank you for listening.